Hey everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Zas Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in, taking time out of your very busy schedule to watch the episode. Today, we have a character unlocked, Mr. Adam Boukas. Welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, man. It's a pleasure to be here.
Nah, man, I really appreciate you taking your time out of the schedule. I've been following you on your Insta. Bro, you're blowing up. You're going crazy on Insta.
I wouldn't say that, but...
Well, what makes you say that? What makes you say you...
I only got like 400 followers, probably less.
Dude, but all your videos have got crazy interaction. Like you're getting... I think the very minimum, you're getting 250 likes on your videos.
No, some of them are doing good. I think the best one recently got almost like 20,000 views.
Yeah. Whoa, dude. Yeah. Fuck, that's crazy.
That was pretty good. And then another one before that, like 14,000. But yeah, it's been pretty good.
Dude.
Yeah.
Where's my crowd? Let me find him. Nope. Okay. Pause. There we go. No, dude, that's really impressive. Really, really impressive. But I want to ask you a few questions about, because I think you're a very interesting person.
Sure. And
I think doing calisthenics is crazy. So I want to know, how did you start your journey into calisthenics?
Yeah. Okay. Easy. So I was about 20 at the time.
Yep.
And I was really skinny.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like 50 kilos. If that.
Dude, 50 kilos?
Yeah.
You were skinny.
I was tiny.
Yeah,
like,
wow.
Really small. And of course, like height-wise as well, really short.
Yeah.
Like throughout all of high school, I was always like the smallest in my year.
Dude, you're about my height. You're probably, what, 5'8"?
Oh, 5'6".
Nah, I'm not taller than you. You're about my height.
168, I don't know.
Yeah, I think I'm 170 because I literally measured it when I had to do a medical exam. I'm 169.5, so I'm just going to round up to 170. Yeah. And it's 5'8", so
is it? Okay.
Yeah.
But I think maybe, I don't know.
Just take 5'8", bro.
I'll take it. But yeah, so yeah, throughout high school, always small, always short. And then when I was like 20, I decided that I really just wanted to, I don't know, exercise.
Yeah.
And my main goal at the time was to do a muscle up, right? Which many people and beginners like sort of begin there because I think, oh, look how cool this is.
Yeah. It's very hard to do.
Yeah, it is. And then so what I ended up doing was, obviously I didn't just like jump into training and didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
Obviously I didn't just do that. So I went on YouTube and I was actually searching up at the time calisthenics beginner like videos, exercises, tutorials, any guides, anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So this is around about 2017.
Okay.
Like July to be exact, right?
Yeah.
And there was two videos guys that I ended up looking at, found their channels and they posted all these videos on tips and how to start and progress your way through. And that's pretty much how I started. And just went from there, followed those videos, did it myself at home.
Yeah.
Everything at home as well.
That was actually one of my questions I was going to ask you.
Everything at home. So I had a pull-up bar to begin with, because my older brothers used to use it. Mm-hmm. Not well, but they used to use it.
Roasted.
And then pretty much that as well. I had Olympic rings, gymnastic rings.
I've seen your videos when you use that. You've used that a couple times.
And that's pretty much that's all you need pretty much. As long as you have that, you can just do basic push-ups and stuff on the floor. Use a chair, desk or whatever. So like that's how it started.
Okay. Did you ever think about, was calisthenics your first thought? Did you ever think bodybuilding first or powerlifting?
Yeah, nah. So I did think bodybuilding or just like a normal gym weightlifting, just because my friends at the time, that's what they were doing. Right. So, and a couple of times I used to go with them to like sneak into like Anytime Fitness. You know, it was the best. Yeah. One of the best stories was, you'll laugh, right?
That's mad though.
Yeah, nah. Cause it's like, you think about it, like, at the time, 18, 19-year-old wogs, right?
Yeah.
Western Sydney, right? So one of the things, right, we'd walk into Anytime Fitness, the guy in front, and then we'd drop the key, like the pass, and then my mate would come and like pretend he's tying his shoe, and then at the door, and then just pick it up and walk in. And then it actually worked like quite a few times.
Yeah.
I was able to go in for free. So that's what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I just never really got excited by it.
Sorry, just continue. My question just disappeared. Sorry about that.
All good. Never got excited by it. And I just couldn't see myself, I don't know, continuing it. And becoming super strong, because I was at the time as well. I was like pretty self-conscious.
Yeah.
As like you probably assumed.
I feel like everybody goes through that at the start, right? Because even when I first started bodybuilding, right? Because I'm not a bodybuilder, but when I first started training, I did all my training at home first before I went to the gym.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Did you start at home first before you went to Anytime and did all this stuff?
No.
So this was before?
Like, 18, 19.
Okay.
It was like a couple of sessions every couple months.
Yeah,
like, nothing too serious. Just to test it out. But yeah, so that was really, but the main thing that made me stick with calisthenics was like going back to the YouTube vids, was when I was like searching it up. Came across like so many strong and talented guys. They're doing like unbelievable feats.
Some of the movements that you see on calisthenics are fucking mental.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Nah, seriously, some of them, and like the viewers like might not know like the special terms and stuff, but like I'm talking where gymnastics, there's like one of the main ones is called a planche.
Okay.
Which is pretty much all like front part of your shoulders, and you're pretty much arms are straight on like parallettes or on the floor with your hands and your palms, and literally your arms are straight and you're parallel or like horizontal to the floor. And
I've
you're
seen
holding that
them.
position.
That is
right.
Not only is it insane, like shoulder and arm strength, but core, trying to keep level. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy.
Everything. So there's like that's an example. There's also like similar thing on like a pull-up bar. It's called a front lever.
Yeah,
which is like pretty much the opposite, where like you're hanging from the bar, arms are straight, but your whole body, torso, legs horizontal.
Yeah.
And then you got other feats where like people are doing handstand push-ups.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You're like balancing, going, and like not even like I guess normal with the floor, but like on parallettes, on like parallel dip bars in the calisthenics parks, where they're going so deep that like their shoulder blades touch the bar. You know what I mean? Like it's incredible. And then there's also my favorite. That's what I've been trying forever. Is like one arm pull up. And yeah, just there's like a lot of other skills and stuff like human flags and
the flag is fucking crazy as well. Because like, one question I was going to ask you, since you've brought up all these crazy exercises, is what do you think is by far the hardest exercise? Because I don't know. I look at a lot of the like some of the TikToks, and because I've seen a lot of people doing calisthenics and stuff on TikTok, and I don't even know what the hardest exercise would be. There's got to be like a pinnacle, right, of someone going, if you can do this, you're a machine.
I would say it'd be the planche.
The planche. Yeah. Okay.
Like, but not even that. Like, it's funny, right? Because there's people out there, right? They can hold the planche, but not just hold the planche. They can do what's called planche push-ups.
Holy crap! So they're just fucking pressing.
Like, correct. Like they're not even like just holding the position alone. Yeah. They're actually doing a push-up, going down and then back up. It's incredible. How strong people are.
How long do you reckon that would take to do an exercise like that? If you were training consistently all the time and your diet was right as well.
Yeah, I reckon. But the thing is, if that's what you solely focus on, you'll get it quicker. Right?
Yeah, of course.
But you'd want, in my opinion, you want to be well-rounded and balanced, all muscle groups, right? But I think the planche, if you were to dedicate solely on that, and you might freak out, but honestly, it's going to take, I'd say, at least 2 or 3 years.
I can imagine. I wouldn't be surprised.
If you start at zero.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that, because that is, like, if you're starting from, like you said, if you're starting from zero and you've obviously got no muscle, you know, you're not going to start, you got to start very, very small before you get to literally throwing your body around and controlling it too. It's mind-blowing.
And then also your body shape comes into effect, how tall you are, how heavy you are. Your weight distribution, like, because it's
for taller people it's a lot harder. I think you also, like you were saying, I think you just briefly mentioned torso as well. So like, I think if you have a bigger torso, it's a lot easier, or something about like I remember watching this video. It was like a body to weight, not body to weight ratio, but your center of gravity.
Correct.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah, because for me, or actually not just I can say it, but I don't like to say it because I think of it as an excuse.
Okay.
But I would say, like, for me personally, I feel like a lot of my, I feel like my thighs are a bit heavy.
Okay.
And where
just strong thighs, bro.
No, I don't really train. That's like legs as much, right? But yeah, just like the weight in general, I feel like just massive thighs, and then that sort of weighs me down a little bit. But I don't want to say that as an excuse. So
yeah, fair enough.
I don't try and think about it.
Just push through it, bro.
Yeah, nah. That's it.
All right, cool, man. So I don't know if you actually said why you chose calisthenics though, because you went through the history about.
Nah,
Yeah. So tell me why you chose
So
calisthenics.
it was pretty much watching and seeing those unbelievable guys.
Yep.
And do all that. And I thought, you know what? Fuck it. I want that to be me.
Yep.
And just decided from that day that I was going to train and went for it. And here we are, 6 years later.
So you love it. Do you love it that much? When you train, do you enjoy the training?
Yeah, very much. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And I feel like if you're going to go to the gym and you're going to do something, at least enjoy what you're doing. I have to admit, I always do quote unquote bodybuilding because I don't really call myself a bodybuilder because I'm not the typical guy that's fucking like huge, crazy shoulders or, big quads or anything. I'm pretty average sort of size guy.
Yeah.
Right. So, but I've been doing it since I was about, I think just after high school. So I would have been 18 and I'm turning 30 this year. So I've been doing it for 12 years and I still love going to the gym, and you've been doing it for 6 years and you still love doing calisthenics. So as long as you love doing it, then fuck, that's amazing.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to ask you though, do you find that it's a lot, well, actually, you're probably going to have the complete different answer to what I'm going to say, what I'm thinking, because you see a lot of people have this sort of idea that if you do calisthenics, it's very, very hard to put on muscle because you can't progressively overload.
That's a lie.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, that's a lie.
So what makes you say that?
There's so many different variations you can do to progress.
Mm.
You just got to figure them out and know what to do.
So as in when you say different variations, you mean like doing harder push-ups?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything. Like example, body weight. So you can start like if you can't do a push-up right, obviously start on your knees, go normal push-up. Then you can go decline where like you elevate your legs. You pump those out and you become a beast. Throw on a weight vest.
Yeah.
Like
is a weight vest cheating though? Is a weight vest now, because you're now adding weight, it's kind of like bodybuilding?
Nah, not cheating. Nah.
Okay. Because I've seen a lot of like calisthenics dudes and they get like the weight belt and when they're doing dips, they get, the plates and put them there. But then I was thinking, why don't you just do weights then? Because you're adding weight, right?
No,
but you're just doing calisthenic movement.
Yeah, it's weight to the body weight movement.
Yeah.
That's why.
Okay, so it is completely. So if someone was doing a dip machine purely just weight compared to doing a normal dip, you would think that's completely different.
Wait, say that again.
So those dip machines that you see in the gym, right?
Yeah.
So they're just sitting and they're just literally, it's pretty much isolating tricep at that point.
Yeah, no, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
No, because when you're on like the proper parallel bars in doing the dips, your whole body's activated.
Yeah.
You don't get any support with your knees or like.
Yeah.
That's why it's same with like the pull-up assisted machines. If you want to learn the pull-up, don't use that. Nah, seriously, I'm not even joking.
Yeah.
They say it, or it tries to replicate the pull-up. It's not the same activations that you need for the core and your scapula and all that.
So what would you recommend to someone who really wants to do a pull-up, but they can't?
An easier pull-up progression, right?
Okay.
So
actually, I've seen your video about it.
So the easiest one would be like an inverted row, or what they call Australian pull-ups. So pretty much you find like a low bar, pull-up bar, and you have your legs on the floor at an angle, and then you pull up like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then just slowly progress to a different exercise where it gets progressively harder.
Correct. And the way you can progress that exercise itself, right? So if you think about it, I'll use my arms as like an example, right? But if you
show them off to the crowd, bro. Just fucking. What's the time?
Nah. So like if you're sort of here, like this is my body, and I want to pull up like this, right? Obviously, if I want to increase it, I'll just lower the angle here and make it harder to pull up.
Okay.
Like that's the way you can do it. And then once from there, assisted pull-ups with resistance bands, and then negatives, eccentric pull-ups. Yeah.
And then I think once you've, what would you, let me backtrack. What would you say if you can hit, say, 10 reps of a negative? Would you be like,
that's at that point,
you can just do a full pull-up?
Of course.
Yeah.
Even if you could do like 2 negatives. I reckon, yeah.
Because, some people really struggle to do pull-ups. I've personally been able to do pull-ups quite easily because I've done them in the past. Yeah. So I think I have okay technique.
Yeah.
But I love doing pull-ups. I love doing calisthenic movements as well.
Even if you don't have the proper technique and you're doing them sort of not fully where you're extending, but like you're not like going back to like a dead hang, for example, right?
Yep.
they're still okay to do to begin with. And then you can, obviously, once you get stronger and you get better with that, then you can try and fulfill the full range of motion.
Yeah.
You know?
One thing I've been so curious to ask someone, and I feel like you're the perfect person actually. Do you find that it's harder to hit specific muscle groups doing calisthenics, i.e., especially triceps and biceps, like just isolating it?
Nah, triceps are pretty good.
Triceps good?
You can isolate the triceps.
Okay.
So
the only thing I can think of with triceps is potentially doing a triangle push-up.
Yeah.
But even then, you're sort of still doing your chest because it is a push-up in a way.
Yeah, nah. There's a lot of like calisthenics exercises that target the triceps. So there are the push-up variations where you're like the diamond push-up, like you said, but there's also like tricep extension ones with the push-ups, and also sort of tricep extensions with like a bar. So one of them is called skull crushers.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, so honestly, even parallel bar dips, right? So just the way you angle your body and your torso, it targets. You know you can target different areas.
Yeah.
So triceps never been an issue.
You know what? The more I think about it, yeah, you can actually just go on a bar and do a skull crusher like that, and just literally just use your body weight.
Exactly.
But what about doing biceps though?
Biceps, yeah.
Biceps is a fucking tricky one.
So biceps, I would recommend even though like if you do calisthenics, you still do bicep curls.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, with weights.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. But you don't need to.
Okay.
Right? If you want to, you can. Right.
Yeah.
But for me personally, my biggest bicep gains has come through pull-ups.
Yeah.
Right.
What's a compound movement, right?
Correct.
So you're doing more than one muscle group.
Especially weighted pull-ups.
Yeah.
So when you're able to throw on weight belt and you got the weights underneath and you're able to literally do pull-ups with 20, 30 kgs, that really burns your arms and then your biceps get stronger.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if you work. I find sometimes when I'm doing the pull-up as well, that my bicep will give out before my back will.
Yeah.
Which is very frustrating sometimes because I really want to grow my back. And because this is fatiguing before my back, I'm like, fuck, I know like this will grow, which is nice, but I want this to grow more.
Yeah.
I want that freaking swimmer V. That's what I want. Just want to fly.
Because the pull-ups, man.
Trust me. Well, that's what I've been doing. I've changed my exercise a little bit. So I've gone to some more calisthenic style exercises. So I took away the lat pull down and I've put in the pull up. And one exercise that I've loved doing, and I feel like the tricep dips or just normal dips, right?
Yep.
They made my lower chest explode. That's one of my favorite exercises, doing dips.
Nah, it is. It works everything, like chest, triceps, front part, your shoulder. Your core.
I find core not so much for me anyway. Maybe because I might be doing it wrong.
No, but like you'll feel it just in the stabilization muscles.
Yeah. Well, actually, the more I think about it, I kind of do. When I'm dipping down, I'm kind of controlling the way my torso is going down. So you're definitely right about that. Interesting, man. So, do you think if people have a particular goal in mind, right? So, for example, I think for powerlifting, you can't do calisthenics, right? Yeah. So, but if you're doing hypertrophy training, would you recommend to someone like, hey, man, if you're interested, calisthenics is the way to go?
Well, it depends on their goals, and what they want. So, if their person solely wants like an aesthetic look, it would be weightlifting.
Okay.
Right. But if they want...
You can get crazy aesthetics doing calisthenics too, though.
100%.
Yeah.
Right? But it'll just take longer or like require more effort, more training. But what I would say is if they do want more functional strength and movement, then like definitely calisthenics is the way to go.
Yeah. Okay. That's really interesting because I've seen a few videos on YouTube where they talk about, oh man, like it's a lie. Of course you can do hypertrophy training, doing calisthenics. And of course you for people who are listening and think that they can't gain muscle doing calisthenics is obviously bullshit, right?
Yeah.
So you can obviously gain muscle, but I feel like there is a cap at a certain point. And if you're going to go towards bodybuilding, I feel like you'll get a lot more muscle growth out of that because you're still, no matter what, you can always increase the weight on chest press. You can always increase the weight on leg press. You can always increase the weight on doing something. Calisthenics, it gets to a point where in my opinion anyway, I could be completely wrong. There are obviously some exercises like, doing a pull down. Of course, you can do, you can add more plates. Dips, you can add more plates. Squats, you can add more plates, like, or however you do it. Like if you raise the platform up and you put a weight belt, you do squats that way. But then doing a skull crusher movement, like that would be, you can put on a heavy vest that I guess can add a bit more weight, but how much weight can you add to the vest at that point?
Yeah,
so at that point, then you probably have to start doing a proper skull crusher.
Yeah.
With not with real wrap, but with a bar.
Yeah.
So that's what I find. And a lot of people say, you don't really see any bodybuilder calisthenic athletes competing. And I'm like, I've never really noticed that, to be honest. But I think, like you said, it really does depend on their goals.
There's one guy.
Oh, there is a guy? There you go.
Guy on Instagram. He's an American guy.
Yeah.
American Brazilian. He's Coach Blue. He's like...
Sorry, I just get you to get the mic closer. No, you're
right. Coach Blue is his like Instagram handle.
Yeah.
And he's got like, I think like a mil followers.
Fuck, go hard.
But he started calisthenics.
Yeah.
Right. And then like 2 years ago, he transitioned to like bodybuilding, where like he still did like calisthenics, but like he transitioned to become like bodybuilder, and like he's an animal, man. Like,
oh, dude, I can imagine. I want to look this guy up and see how crazy he is.
Yeah, no.
So, what do you think are some misconceptions about calisthenics?
Misconceptions?
Yeah, that people don't fully understand about calisthenics.
Oh, I mean, the biggest one would be the one you mentioned earlier.
Just not putting on muscle.
Yeah, not putting on muscle.
How much do you weigh now, out of curiosity? Because you were 50.
Yes.
What are you now, like 75? Yeah.
Nah, 70.
So you've put on 20 kilos.
Yeah.
And by the way, guys, this guy's fucking ripped. Okay. So that's going to be 20 kilos, probably 20 plus of lean muscle, because you're probably skinny fat at 50.
Yeah.
So you've probably put more than 20 kilos of muscle on.
Probably, yeah. All my
He's
friends,
so humble.
all my friends say like every like all year round, like, oh, how are you like so lean? Like you're like 8% body fat all year round. But
Yeah.
I'm not, but like it just looks like I am.
Your diet's probably spot on though.
Yeah.
What is your diet like, if you don't mind me asking?
My diet?
Yeah. Macca's.
No. Come on. Come on. I haven't had no Macca's, no junk food like that in like 8 years, I'd say.
Wow. So are you
straight up? No.
Strict?
It's all dog shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at the start, my diet was pretty poor, I would say. I mean,
This is 50 kilo start?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, but at the time as well, I wasn't even eating that much. Like I would like sometimes, fuck, this is a funny story, bro.
Go on. Sell it to the crowd.
So I was still like in uni, you know, but you know how you know how you're in uni and you don't need to go in half the days and shit. You just fuck around, do whatever. So I think it was like a Monday, right? I literally like woke up probably at maybe around 12.
Best.
Like 12 p.m., right? I think I was probably up till like 3 a.m. the night before playing PS, right?
That's what I like to hear.
And what was it? Yeah, so literally woke up at 12. Honestly, jumped on like FIFA at the time because it was like some, what they call it's like some foot champs games. Had to play them and
had to play them.
I love it.
Had to play them.
Because literally what they did, they fucked you around. They made you play on a weekend for like a 48-hour window. You had to like play all these games in like a 48-hour window.
So, but they didn't tell you when you were playing? It's like you've got to be here for the whole weekend.
Every weekend it was the same thing, but you had to play him then.
Okay.
So it was a kind of a shit thing, right? Where like you...
Pretty much your whole weekend's gone.
Oh, honestly.
Yeah.
I kid you not, at the start, this was like FIFA 17.
Yeah.
You had to play 40 games.
Fuck.
40 games.
That's mental.
In like a 48, maybe like a 60-hour window they would give you. 40
Fuck.
games. And sometimes as well, it was even...
You're playing full 90-minute games?
Like they're 15 minutes.
They're 15 minutes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But like some of the times as well would be worse was you'd play and then if the game didn't, like, you know how it was like, say it's 0-0, 60th minute, the other guy quits or something.
Yeah.
You don't get a win for that. You have to you replay it.
Oh,
like, it's like it didn't count.
Stitch up.
It's like it didn't count.
Fuck.
So anyway, a lot of games, right?
Yeah.
Go on sidetracked, right? Okay, a lot of games. So anyway, played all those games. Honestly, didn't even have breakfast. Probably around 4 p.m.
Yeah.
Is when I had breakfast.
Love it.
Cocoa Pops.
You're doing intermittent fasting at that point.
Oh, not even trying, right? Not even trying. Cocoa Pops, right?
Yeah.
That was my breakfast.
High protein, I like
and
it.
then literally had nothing and then dinner. That would have been it. On like
honestly,
a few
that
days.
kind of sounds like when I was in like high school.
Yeah.
That was my day.
Yeah. Not even joking, right? So anyway, so that's how bad it was, right? But now, we're at the start, obviously, started eating just more normally, where like I would have breakfast, appropriate times, lunch, dinner, and then try and eat healthy vegetables, salads as well, like that, just to start it in. But these days now, worked all my way up. At the time as well, I used to still drink like Lipton iced teas.
Oh, yeah.
That was my favorite, bro.
There's nothing wrong with Lipton
I
iced
know,
tea.
yeah, used to have them all the time, 24/7, right? And then now it's just all solid water. Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel like I'm just rambling, but like
That's all right, bro. Relax.
Diet now,
Yeah.
same thing every day.
Okay.
For lunch, snacks, like breakfast, snacks and lunch, all the same. Dinner is just depending on what's
available. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, breakfast, scrambled eggs, avocado, toast, gluten-free bread, by the way.
Yeah.
All gluten-free, right? Diet. My mum's celiac.
Okay.
And I think
I was literally just about to ask you that.
And I think I've got it.
Okay.
Haven't got tested yet. Self-diagnosis. Right.
Have you had gluten and go like, bro, this fucked me up?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll tell you a story after.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But yeah, so that lunch, chicken, obviously, rice, staple. Yeah. And then a mix of like potatoes, sweet potato, pumpkin, and then salad, right? And then dinner, pretty much the same thing, like the rice, potatoes, just different protein.
Protein, yeah.
And then I also have like a smoothie, like a gluten-free muesli with like banana, blueberries, lactose-free yogurt.
How many calories are you eating a day? Do you know, or do you roughly count?
I don't count.
You just making sure your portion's pretty much the same size all the time.
Yeah, and if I want to, I don't know, eat more, I would just eat more portion.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Do you ever go through like a bulking or a cut phase? No, just that's what I'm eating.
Yeah.
Did you ever go like, fuck, I just want to get jacked. Like, just want to get huge. I do that so many times. I go through these weird phases where I'm going through it now actually, because I went through a bit of a cut and I'm relatively lean now, but I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, fuck, I just want to fill out my sleeve. I just want to like tense my shirt and I want to feel like it's going to break. So I'm thinking about going for a bulk, but I'm probably going to do it after Thailand. So when I get back, I'll go on like a mini cut for 2 weeks after Thailand and then just go straight on a bulk after that. But I always do it at the worst times. I do it during winter. That's the best time to do it. But when I'm bulking, I don't bulk for 3 or 4 months. I'm bulking for like 2 years because I do a lean bulk. I try to put on a steady amount of mass, right? So anyway, I'm going off topic now.
It's all good. Keep going.
You know what? You're right. Yeah. So yeah, I try to put on a steady amount of mass after 2 years, but then you realize, fuck, I've probably put a bit too much weight on. Then I go for a cut and my cut goes for 10 months.
Yeah.
So I've got to find a happy medium. And yeah, I'm still kind of trying to work that out even after 12 years. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to try some new things in my next cut, in my next bulk, I should say. So I think it'll go a lot better.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to you about your diet.
To me. Yep.
Would you say it's healthy or like it's good?
I personally think it is, but it's very controversial. So I eat a very animal-based diet right now. So I do eat I'm starting to eat some vegetables now. Yep. So I've started to include onions, and I'm now going to include tomatoes. And there'll be an argument that people say, "Oh, tomatoes are fruit," but whatever. Same okay, shit. Yeah, honestly. So at the moment, my diet is pretty much the same from Monday to Friday, and then on Saturday, Sunday is when it kind of goes off the rails, which I think is very common for a lot of people. So my breakfast is usually just coffee. Okay. I usually just have a cup of coffee because I don't really get hungry in the morning, but I love just having a coffee in the morning. Yeah. So that's usually my first thing I have. And I'm usually up at about 6 a.m. to 20 past 6. Yeah. Then coffee's it's an hour and a half after that. So it's 8 o'clock. So I'll have a coffee, even if it's a little bit early, it doesn't really matter. And then I usually eat at about 11. And then that's always 330 grams of mince, of beef mince. And it's got to be the 17% fat. So, and then 200 grams of cucumber, and I have that mixed all with honey, salt and honey, and then I have another 200 grams of watermelon with that as well. So then I usually have a big break in between that. I try to hydrate, but I'm very guilty. I'm really bad at staying hydrated.
Don't have enough water?
I just don't have the time to drink it, like especially if I'm in the field, because what I do for work is if I'm in the field and I'm surveying, right? I've got my tool bag. I can't really put my water bottle in the bag, and I don't really have a slot to put it anywhere.
Yeah.
And usually I'm parked quite far, right? So by the time it takes time out of my day to go to the car, drink some water, then go back and do what I'm doing. And I've got pretty expensive gear, and I just don't want to leave it there.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like I'm just gonna fucking knock this out and just get out of here, and then I'll drink water in the car, and then I don't end up drinking water. So I'm very bad at doing that. Dinner is the same thing. So it's 300-gram rump steak with 4 eggs, 150 grams of cucumber, and then it's usually about 70 grams of kimchi. But I've swapped that out now with onion, and I feel like that's a lot better. And then now I'm starting to add tomato. And then if I do get a bit peckish later, I'll either have some blackberries or some mango.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty much my day.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm going to start adding potato in my bulk.
Okay.
That's the next goal.
Yeah.
So when you hear that, what do you think? Is that not too bad?
Yeah, as long as it works.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best thing. Like,
I definitely feel a lot leaner when I eat that way.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you heard on one of the podcasts that I did, but I did go carnivore for like 4 months.
Honestly, like, nothing against it
Yeah.
or anything like that. Same with like one of my mates. He's actually tried fruit only diet.
Oh, he went fruitarian.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, but he worked his way into it. It's my uncle actually. But what I was going to say was it doesn't matter like the diets because there's so many, I would say, specialists out there and doctors that have their own opinion. And one says, oh, carnivore diet's bad. Another one says, oh, carnivore diet's the best.
You don't know what to believe.
It's like, as long as, like, my opinion, whatever's good for you, whatever works, and you feel good, like you feel healthy, you feel energetic, you feel all those things, stick with it.
Yeah. I think you're spot on with that. I at the moment, I feel, because I did the carnivore diet and everyone's like, oh, when you do the carnivore diet, you're going to get like this spur of energy. You're going to feel fantastic and you're never going to have any dips or any highs. Like, when people have when they have their lunch and they have a very high carb lunch and they get that crash, you don't have a crash. And to their point, it's true. You don't really get the crash, but I found I was getting some other side effects that I didn't really like. That's why I started adding fruit back into my diet. So I started to get like some heart palpitations and I was like, oh, that's probably not ideal. So I'll probably stop. So that's when I'm like, all right, maybe I'll just add some fruit. And the fruit fixed me. Yeah. But in saying that though, when I did go carnivore, my acne disappeared. I've always had back acne. Then when I went carnivore, completely gone. So I think there is some merit to the carnivore diet, but I don't think 100% carnivore is the way to go. But that's just my experience. Other people, like you said, are 100% carnivore and it works for them. Yeah. And there are people who are 100% vegan and it works for them. So like you said, if it works for you, just do it. Because that was going to be my next question to you is, what do you think about the vegan and carnivore diet? But you just kind of explained that.
Yeah. But I did want to talk to you about your diet and cheat meals. Do you have any? Or like, are you like a believer where like...
I don't like cheat meals, but I do have them. It's kind of weird because the fact that you've got to have a cheat meal means that it's not sustainable what you're doing, right? Yeah. So I personally, I feel like I can go without a cheat meal for a very, very long time. I do get cravings though. Like sometimes I just go, fuck, I'd love a Big Mac right now. I've got that taste in the back of my mouth. And like, even though I know what I'm doing is working and I feel great and I don't really need it. I've just got that taste. I don't know if you ever get that feeling. You just want the taste of it. No.
It's been too long, but
yeah, that's the thing. You probably do it. Actually, when I was carnivore, I didn't get any cravings. And yeah, when I'm adding fruit and some other things to my diet, I find that I do get some cravings here and there. But honestly, it's not that bad. Yeah. But to your point, I think cheat meals they do more damage than good, in my opinion.
I do agree.
Yeah. And because I think people, and I've done this in the past as well, where you go out for a cheat meal, right, and you overdo it. You're not eating. Yeah. So when people say you're supposed to have a cheat meal, you're supposed to have one portion of the cheat meal, but no one has a portion. People go, oh, I'm going to have a Big Mac large meal plus 10 nuggets, plus a fiddler fish burger, plus a McChicken. And the next thing you know, they're fucking, oh, I'm fucked. You know what I mean? Exactly so right. In my opinion, I think they do more damage than good, but I do believe in refeeds though. I don't know. What's your
Never heard
opinion
of
on that? So if you're on a cut for a long time, let's say you've taken out carbs, because that's usually the number one thing that gets taken out because it's water weight, right? You deplete yourselves of carb, but when you go on a refeed day, and I found that it worked for me when I went on my cut, you say you're on about 150 grams of carbs, just say for an example, then you would go to 300 grams of carbs for that one day.
Okay.
And what's supposed to happen is you might gain a little bit of weight the next day, or you will gain weight the next day. Say it's like 500 grams. But over the long term, you've just refilled, or I think you've refilled the glycogen in your muscles, I believe. I can't remember exactly what it is now because I haven't done it for so long. And you actually will lose more fat having that one refeed per week or one refeed every 2 weeks. But that's only if you've been on a cut for a long time. So if you've been on a cut for about, I'll probably say 2 to 3 months, then you can start thinking about doing refeeds. Right. But if you haven't been on a cut for at least 2 months, then you can't even think about a refeed. So, but for me, it worked.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I never heard of that. That's why.
It's a big thing for like in bodybuilding and stuff like that. But like diet is just this huge rabbit hole, man. Like you just don't know what to believe because I was watching this TikTok video and this guy was like, he's eating eggs and there's this one guy that comes in and goes, "You shouldn't eat eggs," and he throws the eggs out and he's eating broccoli and like a salad. Yeah. And there's another guy saying, "Plants are trying to kill you," and then he throws away that and then he's eating a steak and then someone's going, "The steak's trying to kill you," and then he's going, "Oh fuck, I'll drink water," and then someone's going, "I don't even drink water," and he's like, "Bro, what am I doing?" Honestly, the more you dig into diet and nutrition, it's just like you can't eat or drink anything. Literally. Yeah. But I definitely think the number one thing people should completely avoid is processed foods.
Yeah, guaranteed.
Yeah. 100%. Any type of lolly, any type of chip. Like my kryptonite is chips. I don't know if you probably don't have a kryptonite. You don't have any cheat meals.
No, I don't. Honestly.
Yeah.
No.
So, if you go to the movies, right, you don't get like a Coke Zero or something?
Come on, man. Nothing, man. Nah.
You're just about to launch yourself and be like, fuck off.
I don't even have alcohol, man. Like,
really?
Yeah. Nothing, man.
That's interesting. Is it because you just don't want to have alcohol? You don't have
that and just not good for you. Like,
obviously, alcohol is not good.
No,
for you.
like, and not just like not good for you, like mentally and like that health, but like just for anything. Like it's not it's not a good thing to drink. Like when you want to have like these fitness goals and stuff like that, because that's what for me personally. And a lot of people say, "Oh, like one drink or whatever, it's nothing, it's fuck all." But for me, like, why would I want to like potentially set myself back that like 1% when like I don't need to?
Yeah,
like, that's what it comes down to.
And I think also if you feel good, like, why do you want to fuck that up?
Yeah.
And I find that to be true a lot. If you're feeling great, why do you? I feel like as I'm getting older now, I'm really starting to step away from drinking because it just fucks me up even harder. And it's a real thing. When you're younger, you can sort of bounce back a little bit easier. But when you get older, it fucks ya. Like, I hate the feeling the next day of being seedy and just like you got a headache and you just don't want to go anywhere. But the day before that, I was fucking phenomenal. I was like a superhero. But as soon as you start drinking, see you later. And why do you want to ruin that?
Exactly.
So I do have a couple more questions for you.
Go.
So, do you train with a crew?
No.
No?
Not me, man.
Oh, you, baby. That's what I love to hear.
What do I need someone else for?
No, because I always see on Instagram and on TikTok as well, like these people, they're always with a bunch of people when they're training together. So that's why I thought, maybe you train with someone as well. I'm sure you've probably got people that you may not train with, but that also do calisthenics. Like someone who does that sort of stuff.
Not really, man.
No, you're just on your own.
I wouldn't. Most of my friends, they go to the gym and they just do the regular.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding. Yeah.
So do you see? So what's the goal for you? Because you told me some info before the pod, and I don't know if you want to mention that, so I'll just leave it. Okay. But what's your goals for you now?
Like fitness wise?
Everything. So for fitness and because obviously you've been putting more effort into your Instagram. You've been putting a lot of videos up there. So I can see, I have a feeling one of your goals is to eventually have that as a career where you're coaching people.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So walk me through like what would you consider to be I'm happy where I am right now, like success.
Okay. Well, success would be where I'm like an online trainer, right? Just like to calisthenics, wannabe athletes, all like people. And yeah, like all levels, beginners, intermediate, advanced, just coach them, teach them how to progress,
Yep.
Get stronger, build muscle, all the basics, I'd say. And yeah, just have that as like an online thing. And then, yeah, I mean, that's at the moment, that's just all in my head. That's what I got. Obviously, I would have like some more, I don't know, exposure in terms of like Instagram, or like I want to as well branch out into YouTube and have like a sort of, I guess, social media presence about me. But yeah,
that's definitely the best way to grow.
Yeah.
Because I follow a lot of influencers on YouTube as well as Instagram. People like, I'm sure you've probably heard of, what's his name? Matt does fitness. He's a bit of a bodybuilder dude, but he does some viral videos, but he's like huge now. It's massive. And he's got an online program. He's killing it now. He's got energy drinks. He does fucking crazy things. Mike Thurston as well. He's got like a clothing line. He's also got the fitness app and all that sort of jazz. No, but that's it, man. You got to start somewhere. You know what I mean? So do you kind of have like short-term goals that you want to achieve, let's say by the end of the year?
Well, at the moment, I would say it's to get qualified as a trainer.
Hey!
So like in Australia, to be honest, I don't think I even sort of need it in terms of like actually train people online. But definitely if I was to work in a gym and train someone, then I need it.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, so to get qualified like that, and then to start off with, I've even been starting sort of now just to practice training friends and family.
Yeah.
Just, set them up, show them what to do.
So who are you helping, if you don't mind me asking?
At the moment, my dad.
Oh yeah, nice.
But then just other friends as well. Like,
yeah.
They reach out to me, what exercise should I do for shoulders, say, and I'll tell them like calisthenics thing and help them out.
Actually, this is one thing I wanted to ask you. Do you have certain, like a push-pull legs routine, or is it full body every day?
Nah, it's push-pull legs.
Oh, you do push-pull legs?
Yeah.
Okay. So how long does your routine usually go for?
I'd say on the push and pull, 2 hours.
Jesus, that's a big sesh.
Yeah.
Like a big boy.
Yeah, nah. I can tell you my whole day if you want.
All right, go for it.
Yeah, nah. So like regular day, I would wake up, or in the morning, I would do like a sort of stretching and mobility session. I
need to start doing that. I'm finding that my flexibility is fucking horrible. I really need to do that, but I'm lazy. Yeah. So anyway, sorry, go on.
No, well, that's the thing, right? Because at the moment, in my old job, I had the time because we were still working from home with COVID. So I didn't need to commute to work or anything like that. I would just log on into my computer at 9 a.m. and there I am. So
you still have your morning
time, right? So I had the morning, right? So that's what I would do. 1 hour stretching, mobility, maybe like 45 minutes, just over exaggerating. And then come around lunch break would be like my proper session, right? So I would maybe around before lunch, I'd say around 11, right?
Yep.
I would have like a proper session, push or pull, whatever, 2 hours, and then eat lunch after that. And then I just do like another sort of afternoon, night session for maybe like an hour. And that's pretty much how my...
Fuck, you're training for 3 hours a day. Yeah. No wonder you're ripped as fuck.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, mobility plus 3 hours of training.
Is, like, if you want to master these calisthenic skills, you got to put the time in.
Oh, 100%. You're right.
You have to. There's no way around it. Like, you're not just going to wake up one day or like train a couple times a week and then become a beast. Like,
yeah, 100%. If you want to do, especially like you're saying, if you're going to do those crazy movements, you have to put in the effort.
Exactly.
Right? So you can probably get away with it if you're just doing bodybuilding, like maybe doing 4 or 5 days a week and getting good, decent results. But even then, like if you look at Arnold Schwarzenegger or any of the crazy bodybuilders, C-Bum, they're not training 3-4 days a week. They're training every day, and they're training for 3 hours a day, 3-4 hours a day. You know what I mean? That's the type of level that they're at, and that's sounds like where you're going at this point.
Yeah.
Did you? So that's when you were doing 3 hours a day. That's when you were still working.
Correct.
So now you've got way more time. So you've probably spending a lot more time into your routines and yeah.
It's at so at the moment, as like I mentioned before, sort of like enrolled in like a course to get the qualification right.
Yep.
And I highly recommend to anyone that is doing like the Cert 3 and 4 course in Australia for personal training, do it face to face if you can.
Okay.
Because online, it is a nightmare in terms of, because there's a lot of practical shit you got to do, and they ask for you got to film and recordings, and trust me, it's a nightmare. Like,
okay.
Honestly, it's better if you just find a place where you can do it face to face.
Yeah.
And face to face, the teacher will just be like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna deliver this session. Oh yeah, cool." You just stand around, like pretend you're doing it. Oh yeah, tick, and then that's it. But like when the online video, you gotta fucking spend time filming, recording, and they critique you like a motherfucker.
Oh
like,
really? It's even worse.
I had one because I enrolled before this one. I enrolled online, and they fucking rejected one of my assignments because I don't know the way we just didn't.
They were telling you didn't do it right. The audacity on these fuckers. Exactly. Fucking start throwing haymakers. Do you know who I am?
No, it was funny because I even asked because my brother was doing it, like the role play.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's like a lot of role playing, right?
Yeah.
Like scenarios, like oh yeah, you're a make up believe client and shit, right?
Yeah.
So then my brother was pissed because he had to do it again. I asked him
to stitch up.
Yeah, I was like, I need you to do this. He's like, oh, what the fuck? We just did this yesterday.
Fuck. So it was pretty much right. Like you submitted it and they rejected it straight away.
It was like a 2-week thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But like, yeah.
Yeah. Nah. Just add to the story.
Gotta sell it. Yeah, nah. But
so definitely face to face.
Yeah, face to face. Way to go. Yeah. But yeah, so when I'm not on that, because that's at the moment it's 4 days a week.
Yeah.
But when not doing that, yeah, like you said, pumping out training, I try and 4 or 5 hours because to be honest, like I've got the time where I can't afford to do that, and yeah, that's how we go.
What's the goal for? What's the technique you're trying to perfect right now?
All right, so there's a few things.
Because I saw you doing this one. I don't know what it was called, but you call it like the Bucky pose or something like that. You're literally like. You got the two wooden planks or the I don't know what they're called, rods or something. Parallels. There you go. Yeah. And then your floor's like that. Yeah. You're like that parallel with it, and then your legs are fucking flared open that way.
Okay. Well, so that's the a variation of the planche.
Okay.
I was talking about.
Yeah.
So what I was doing there was a straddle planche. Okay. Where your legs are like that in that position. The goal would be to have my legs flat, straight, like together. You know, and then I'm
together.
Yeah,
and
okay. That's the goal, like because that's a lot harder.
Yeah.
Right, and so that would be the goal to hold that position. I would say at least 5 or 10 seconds.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say like a minute. 5 to 10 seconds. Yeah. Bro, you see some people on YouTube and whatever, they're holding it for crazy time.
Yeah.
So, man, good on you. That's fucking crazy.
That's that, and then also want to improve my weighted pull-ups.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the goal for the way to pull up? How much do you want to get up?
I want to be able to do at least like 50 kilos.
Fucking oath, bro.
Not
You're a monster.
Not just 1 rep max either. I'm talking like 5 reps.
Yeah. 50 kilos. Yeah. I think the best I ever did was, I think it was 10 reps of 25.
That's pretty good, man.
Yeah, I was doing all right.
Really good.
Yeah, thanks, bro. So that was the best I ever did.
Yeah.
And I think I was going to go up to 30, but then at that point, I'm like, no, I'm starting to get a little bit chubs. It's time to go on a cut. So I was pretty strong. And I think at that point, I was 80 kilos. Right. So I would have been pulling up about 100 or 105. So I was pretty happy with it. I'm not going to lie.
That's pretty good considering you were 80.
Yeah. Well, I find as well, and you probably agree with this, the heavier you are, the harder it is to do calisthenics. Yeah. So, yeah. But it was weird. Like, I found to a certain point, you can gain a bit of better weight and you can still add a bit more reps and maybe add a bit of weight and it's fine. But then you get to a point, you start noticing like, fuck, I'm starting to get a bit heavier. It's starting to get a lot harder now. And it gets a lot harder real quick. Just adding maybe 2 or 3 kilos after this tipping point. I don't know what the tipping point is, but I found I had a tipping point. And for me, it was about 80. I'm like 80. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm starting. It went from about 10 reps, then it started going 9 reps, and I'm like, oh. And I thought maybe I was overtraining, but I don't think I was. I think I'm just getting fat. But yeah, man, we're actually getting close. We're hitting 50 minutes now.
Wow.
Time goes quick, when you're doing the pod.
Yeah.
And we spoke for like 5-10 minutes before we even started.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Did you want to tell people where they can find you?
Are we wrapping up?
We'll wrap up, man.
Okay. All right. Easy.
Unless you had some more questions for me. Because I think I've pretty much finished my questions for you. Because we've pretty much talked about misconceptions. How often do you train? Pretty much every day. Train with the crew? No. Hardest exercise?
I've got a question for you.
Go. Talk to me. Talk to me.
What do you do for cardio? Or do you do train cardio at all?
Depends what I'm doing. Depends on my goal. So if I'm trying to put on muscle, I tend not to do too much cardio because for my work, I'm constantly on my feet and I'm constantly moving, right? So if I'm doing that plus doing cardio at the gym, and usually the cardio would be, and it's not a crazy amount either. I found that if I did, I think 6 to 10 minutes on the Stairmaster at level 7, which I don't even know what that means. That's just the number I usually press. I found that I could cut weight relatively quickly. Yeah. But if I'm doing field as well as that, it's so hard for me to start gaining because I have to eat so much more calories. But then, I won't get into that. But when I'm bulking, I don't usually do cardio. But when I'm on a cut, towards the end of my cut, I start thinking about cardio. Because then I start going, okay, calories are starting to get a bit scarce. I can probably just add a bit more exercise so I can cut a bit more weight. And that's when I just go on the Stairmaster for about like max 10 minutes. I don't do anything more than that. And then if I'm in the office as well, I'll try to maybe do 20 or 30 minutes on the walking machine. But again, at the tail end of my cut. I usually don't do a lot of cardio. But when I was doing karate, I was doing a fuck ton of cardio. But anyway, that's another other story.
No, I was curious because
calisthenics is essentially, is that cardio? Would you count that as cardio? Not really, hey. No. Do you go for jogs? Do you go for runs and stuff like that?
I do.
How often do you run?
Try and go every day if I can.
How long do you run for, and how far?
To be honest, the how far would be like an estimate. I would say 4 or 5 Ks. Maybe.
That's decent, bro.
And I would say a half an hour.
Fuck, that's a solid run.
Yeah.
For me, I'd probably have a heart attack after 5 Ks. Your boy, these legs are made for walking.
The best thing about for me, about running, right? Because I don't run on treadmill, right? So I run on the street, on the road, right? But the best thing is that like I don't take anything with me.
Yeah.
Like no like AirPods or like headphones, no water.
Yeah.
I just fucking start running on the road, bro.
Yeah,
and like my suburb is pretty good because it's quiet. There's not a lot of roads coming past, but yeah, just keep running. And
do you find? Have you ever tried running with AirPods and anything like that, or you just like, nah, I'm just gonna run?
It feels better for me. Like just I don't know, just
you feel more in the moment.
Yeah.
I find that's what I feel when I'm training with AirPods or whatever I'm training with. Right, I find that it helps the training go a little bit quicker. In my opinion.
Well, I do use AirPods and like headphones when I do like my regular gym.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not a psycho. Come on, man. I need the music, man, to fucking pump me up, bro.
Got to G up, bro.
100%.
Actually, what are you listening to?
Okay.
Mozart.
Nah, so it's a mix. Majority is you probably won't.
You don't know.
I don't know.
You never know.
It's a rap scene, right? So the UK and US, I would say.
Stormzy.
Correct.
Oh,
he's one of them. He's one of them. Yeah, no.
So I don't. So grime, I do listen to.
Yeah.
But I don't listen to that in the gym. For me, it's more metal. It's definitely in the gym. Yeah. But like Stormzy's like I would never have pictured for grime. For some reason in my head I was like, this guy's gonna say freaking Kalamatiano, fucking
there's no Greek guys. Nah, there's no Greek guys. Nah, but yeah, just UK, bro. I feel like it goes off.
Yeah. But when you run, no music at all.
No music.
Fuck, I feel like running. I would have to have music. But you know what? You run outside. You don't run on a treadmill. So I feel like that's a completely different dynamic. when you're running outside because there's things happening, there's cars, there's people, you know, whatever. So it's probably a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Or, you know, time goes by quicker. But do you find as well that it's a lot harder to run outside compared to the treadmill?
I don't know. I've never tried running on a treadmill, bro.
Dude, running on a treadmill is so much easier than running outside. So I started. So one of my friends, shout out to Greek Salad John. He was actually on the first episode. He was a triathlete, and he recommended for me to start. Well, he goes, try and build up your running because I want to build up running, right? So I started on the treadmill and I was doing 3 minutes. Then from 3 minutes went to 5 minutes, and I thought, oh fuck, I'm starting to get pretty good now. You know, before like I was running 2 minutes and I was gassed. Yeah. So I got to 5 minutes, then I was getting to 10 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? I can't be fucked going to the gym today. I'm just going to go outside. 3 minutes, I was gassed, bro. I was fucked. And I feel like I'm going the same pace that I'm going in the treadmill. But I don't know what it is that's completely different than from the tread to outside. Yeah. So that's just my experience. But I think John said the same thing as well, actually. It is easier on the treadmill.
Well, for me, I find it easy because I've sort of come from...
Because you're a Greek god. That's why.
Nah.
You're Zeus, bro. That's why. It's so easy.
So the reason I find it so easy for me is because I do come from a footballer background.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So soccer.
I was about to say, yeah, okay.
Right. Yeah. Told you I'm 50 kilos, man. How was I going to be coming up against...
Actually, I should have fucking thought about that. Jesus. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, nah. So football background, you know, 90-minute games, I was centre mid, fucking bossing it.
Yeah. You know, as usual, bro. Great God.
So that's, yeah. And even like my mates and stuff, because we used to play just local last few years. Haven't like the last 2 years because COVID fucked it around. Like before that, they would always ask me, bro, like, how are you so fit and running everywhere all the time? Because every time like the ball would come away or like I would always be moving.
Yeah.
And they were fucking all gassed after like 5 minutes.
Bro, you just go, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am, bro? Come on. What kind of question is that?
So that's how I find it easy.
Yeah. Well, that's you have that running background, right? So, and you'd probably be running 45 minutes per half, right? Yeah. So I was going to say you worked, because when you're younger, you're not doing the full 45-minute games, but when you're getting towards the end, when you get older, you start playing the full 45-minute halves, which is if you're running because if you're a midfielder, you're constant up and down, up and down, up and down.
But at the time, I mean, if I can't get my words out. The soccer these days, if you do play like all age, it's a lot of stop and start. That's the benefit.
When you say stop and start, like they stopping like...
No, like stop and start. Fucking, there's no like ball boys and shit. So a good ball goes out for a goal kick.
Yeah.
And there's no net, so the ball can run 40 meters down to the other field. By the time you get it back, like, you know, it's still stop and start. Like a goal throw a throw in. It's by the time the guy walks and gets it. You know, you got, you know.
You know what you reminded me of? Jesus. You reminded me of, have you seen Don't Mess with the Zohan?
I have, yeah.
Do you know the scene where it's right at the end of the game, right at the end of the movie, and they're doing the hacky sack competition? Yeah. And they've got disco dancing like happening. It's like break time disco. That's what it is when the ball goes off. Disco. That's what I start thinking of. Fuck, man, that's hilarious. Yeah. But I think we'll start wrapping up because we're getting to an hour now.
All good.
But do you want to put up some socials so people can find you?
Well, the only thing would be Instagram, I'd say. Yeah. So just be my name, Adam.Boukas. So that's Adam.Boukas. And yeah, find me there. And yeah.
So yeah, guys, if you have any more questions that I haven't asked about calisthenics, and honestly, this guy's a really, really nice guy. He'll definitely help you out. He's on the way to becoming a huge Instagram influencer. 100%, bro. You laugh now, but you're getting some really good content out there. 400 likes, like some of them are going absolutely crazy. 10K, 20K views is, you know, you should be proud of that. That's impressive.
Thanks.
So definitely hit this guy up. Going towards me now, cheeky plug for myself. So if you've been watching the video, thank you so much for tuning in. 50% of you guys who are watching this though aren't subscribed. So if you could please subscribe to the channel, and if you like the content, I'd really appreciate you if you like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to like it. It is what it is. But yeah, I also have a TikTok. I have an Instagram. So that's all Zaf's podcast. And that's all I really have, man. But I appreciate you coming on, bro. I think it's going to open a lot of eyes for people about calisthenics as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think it's coming around where, because the thing is, a lot of people when you see someone performing like calisthenic skills, catches eyes, man.
Oh,
You
100%.
don't see it every day, and people notice, and then they.
No one looks at some guy benching freaking 60 kilos, but someone will look at a guy doing a 360 spin in the air while doing a pull up. So yeah, 100% it's going to turn heads.
Yeah.
But guys, I'll see you at the next episode and take care. Fail whale.